Hi, my name is Katie Fox, and today we're going to discuss detailed information and the differences in gender. My hypothesis. Let's go ahead and look at a clip.
Our venue, and they look okay. It's like all of her pictures that she took for the whole thing. So they're organized by like the event at the wedding. So there's a whole one for the ceremony, which was like a couple hundred pictures. There's a whole one for the group pictures after the ceremony, all outside Mercury Hall. I didn't get through a bunch of them, but there's like pictures from around dinner, there's pictures from dancing, there's pictures from her photo booth where she used that teal backdrop she was talking to us about. There's pictures from the exit, I guess. So she said that on our date, September 16th, sunset was at 7:30, so she thought 6 was a good time for the ceremony, and she would show up at 5, and then we would leave it at 11, so she could shoot from 5 to 11, and that would be our 6 hours.
Okay. Sounds fun.
Oh, and she told me like her friend's discount for the friend's package is $2,400, which is not that much less than what we're paying now, but there would be no insurance because it would be outside of the Whitney Lee photography thing.
Okay.
So if we did that, then we would save a little bit of money, but we wouldn't have, I don't know if we would have the $250 photo credit, and I don't, and
we
like,
wouldn't get 10% off that, so.
Right. So if we do the normal thing with the 10% off for the Sunday discount, then if something happened to her, like there would be insurance and someone would definitely take pictures at our wedding. Yeah.
Okay.
And she sent me a recommendation for a day of coordinator. I forwarded it to my mom. It's like for the day of, which includes some prep work beforehand, like meetings and rehearsal dinner and stuff. It's like $1,500.
$1,500.
My mom was like, "Am I reading that right? It's $1,500," and I don't know if my mom meant like that's cheap or that's expensive. Does it sound expensive?
It sounds expensive.
I guess.
So what does Tannen say about this? More evidence?
Actually recommended to check it out, and because I wanted to get some people together to read the book over the next few months. And I mean, so far it's basically, you know, each chapter switches. Okay, so one chapter you read about a girl. The book starts out being in, she's riding in a taxi, back in a taxi. She's trying to get somewhere. She's trying to get to like an important business meeting. And, you know, the traffic not moving at all. So the driver recommends that she gets out and climbs down into, like, down from the bridge into, you know, where she can access the train to get to where she needs to go. And then after that, it's like things kind of start to slowly change. Like the reality kind of starts to slowly change, and, you know, the world as she understands it is not particularly, you know, how she knows, I guess. And then you come to find out that the important job that, you know, that she needed to get to was her killing a guy in a hotel room. In a very like swift, like sophisticated, clean. I mean, it sounds weird even saying that, but. And then the next chapter switches to this guy who's an author that it's kind of a lot actually. But,
yeah, and you're like what, one
like 2 chapters
in.
in. See, the thing is that's the premise, and then it's like building from that. Not much has changed from that. It's still like they're still doing the same thing. And I guess that's why I've gotten slightly bored. I wouldn't say bored, but not as excited about.
Because there's so much?
Because it's continue.
And another.
Modern and postmodern literature class, so I feel pretty comfortable talking about this book, so that's good. I cheated. So this book is White Teeth by Zadie Smith, and it's her debut novel, and it's about 3 different families and all of their intertwining lives and also generations of families, and it's about the immigrant experience. I think she tried really hard to write a book about sort of trying to capture the way people live in England now, but she did a really good job for a really young author, and it's about, I think my favorite part of the book is actually when they're talking about war, because 2 of the protagonists, they fought in World War II together, and a huge theme in the book is how the past, how some people are mired in the past, and so the actual discussions of them being in the war, like they spend a lot of time in the bar talking about the war, but the actual passages where they're in the war are really, really cool and interesting. And I don't know if I should like read from it. I got this book at half price because I thought it might look really good, and I've been trying to read books by contemporary female authors right now because I feel like I've read a lot of books by male authors in my life. So I've been pretty good about that. I've just branched out into the Lady Victorians like Jane Austen. Just read Pride and Prejudice. I'm working on Emma.
Do you like Jane Austen?
I love Jane Austen. I think she's so funny. I think people don't give her enough credit. I mean, I know that her book is canonized and they make high schoolers read it, but everyone hates it because they all think it's just about marriage, but it's not just about marriage. She's really funny. And I really liked Pride and Prejudice. I hope I like Emma as much. And then I'm going to read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I've read Wuthering Heights, so I think Jane Eyre is probably really good. Yeah, I like Victorian literature, but some of the books tend to just go on because they're really, like, mired in the everyday. Like, first, like, she wrote a letter, and now he's sitting down, and she's playing the piano, and, like, that'll be, like, 20 pages.
Now, with a pen and paper, jot down some information you felt was primary or secondary. Okay, now we're going to go to our last clip.
Just read Jitterbug Perfume by Tom Robbins. It's a cool little novel. It's kind of 3 different stories. It has a lot to do with aging, I guess, is the overall theme. And there's one guy who was from this Germanic tribe early in the Dark Ages, and he doesn't want to die, so he finds these secrets to keep on living, and it has a lot to do with perfume and scents and how they put them together, because scent has such a powerful connection in your brain as far as to memory and things like that. His hypothesis is there's all this stuff that you do, and having the right scent also keeps you from aging, I guess. Anyway, the guy lives for a long time and lives through all these different things that happen. And in the end, they're trying to make this perfume, and they figure out that they need beets to make it. And that brings it to present day, where it's taking place in Paris and Seattle and New Orleans. There's these people making perfume, and yeah, without giving it all away.
What differences did you see in those two clips? So why is this important for interpreters? My conclusion Thanks so much for viewing.